Hey guys, Will from Boosted Autos here. Today I'm in a Jaguar F-Type, which is very, very exciting. It's a V6 supercharged model and it sounds absolutely insane. But we're just up in a nice mountain road now, so I thought I'd give you a bit of a rundown on what it's like to drive and my first impressions of the car. So look, straight away, it's really nice, tight, precise steering. There's a lot of theatre to driving this car. It's loud, it's exciting. It's got the ZF transmission in it, so it's an automatic gearbox, but the shifting is pretty much instant. So I'll shift down here, give it a bit of a squirt, and it just drops straight into gear. So there's no messing around there. It's really precise. Just sounds beautiful. Now, the one thing that I've noticed about it straight away, we've been driving this car around for about 600 Ks now. This is the first time I've jumped in it to actually drive it, but it's really frigging loud outside the car. Really dramatic, really loud screams. It makes all the popping and noises and all that sort of stuff when you shift gears, but inside the car it's actually quite nicely refined. It's I guess it's got that kind of classic Jaguar kind of classiness about it, where, you know, you jump in a Lamborghini or something like that and it's all drama, it's all theatre, and, you know, you can't just drive it in a placid manner and just enjoy it as a cruiser or a GT style car. It's just, you know, it's all in your face all the time, whereas this is actually quite nice and quiet inside the car when you want it to be, but when you plant your foot, it just growls at you, and it's a beautiful sound. The supercharger is not overpowering sound. You can hear a bit of a whine there, but it's not overly loud. The steering's really precise. It's perhaps a little bit on the light side, but you feel what you need to feel. I'm feeling the bumps that I feel like I need to feel. It just maybe feels a little bit less connected than I thought it might be, but that's probably just because I'm not used to it. Give it a bit of a run. Stick it into race mode as well. Dynamic mode, I should say. It's really cool when you switch it into dynamic mode, and I'll show you on the camera, the whole dash changes to a red color, so you know that you're in race mode. Red goes faster, so we'll put our foot down. It just goes, and you can hear the sound is just beautiful, but it's that nice instant supercharger-esque kind of power that I'm used to from some of my older cars. But you know, it doesn't matter where you are in the rev range, it just picks up and goes straight away, which is beautiful. And it's a really comfortable sort of seating position. You're nicely reclined. It's a big car when you're sitting in it. You can't see a whole lot out the back window, but you can see what you need to see. And looking out the mirrors, you can see the big flared guards. It's a really long nose as well, with the engine obviously up the front in this car. So it's a little bit hard to see the front of the car, but I mean, you get used to that driving it normally. But it's a really nice place to sit inside. It's nice and clean, and all the controls are sort of right there at your fingertips. Everything's clearly labeled and it just tells you what it is and what it does straight away, so there's no sort of messing about with it. And the infotainment system's nice and easy to use as well. Probably won't go into that in any detail for the scope of this video, because this is more about the driving experience. But yeah, it's nice that you kind of just cruising along, you forget that you're in such an expensive, immense car, and you just enjoy the ride. But then as soon as you want to get into it, it's just there, which is really nice and unusual for a car of this style. All right, so we'll give it a bit of a stab here. Beautiful. Reminds me of driving the XJ220. It's just and you can hear now I've raised my voice. I'm in race mode. I'm giving it some, and it's instantly become a dramatic and exciting car to drive, which is a stark contrast to a couple of moments ago when I was just cruising along. So I can lower my voice again now, but yeah, it reminds me of driving an XJ220. It's that V6 screaming kind of sound, and I didn't really rev it out all that much then either. It was just I only got up to about 5,000 RPM, but you do get the sense of the speed that you're traveling as well, which is great. A lot of really fast cars, when you drive them, you don't get the sense of speed out of it when you're driving it, because, you know, you're inside a cocoon of acoustic environments, and you know, the sound is kind of muffled and everything, but you only hear the things that you want to hear in this car, and that's really cool. The transmission shifting is a little bit muffled inside the car, but I think if you were to drive this as a daily driven car, you'd probably get over the crackles and pops pretty quickly, and you'd be glad that it's not too loud inside the car. And I guess the cool thing is that it is really loud outside the car, so that's enjoyable. It's a really comfortable steering wheel to hold as well. It's a D-shaped steering wheel. It's relatively small diameter. It's comfortable, it's grippy. All the controls are there at your fingertips that you want. I'm not even going to look at what they are at the moment. There's a lot of buttons there. And a couple of other little cool things that I noticed as well is the air conditioning vents slide away and hide when the car's off, and then when you start it up, they pop up out of the dashboard, and I'll show you what that looks like as well. But it's just so nice that you can just cruise along comfortably. The steering feels nice and precise. It's a real sort of a cruiser of a car. And then you shift it down, and the other thing I'm noticing as well is there's not a whole lot of creaks and rattles in the car either. We've got a bit of luggage in here, and it's rattling a little bit, but there's nothing major in the dash or anything. This is a really rough road as well, so not too bad. The suspension feel is really precise as well. You're gliding along quite nicely. You feel the bumps, but it's not uncomfortable in the slightest. And it does loosen up a bit if we go back out of dynamic mode as well. It's a bit softer. It inspires confidence because it's so well planted through the corners, even bumpy corners like these. It just goes, and it's not unsettled at all. You can just hammer it through. It takes care of itself. The traction control's kicking in nicely, taking care of everything for you. It just inspires so much confidence. I feel like I probably could have gone twice as fast through those bends. I'm not going to, but it's just a beautiful car to drive. And all the time, it's just like you could daily drive this, no problem. Like you could cruise around in town comfortably, you know, no problem. You'd sit in traffic and you're still in a nice, comfortable, modern car with all the modern conveniences that you'd ever want. And then you get out on a back road and you just go nuts. It's just a beautiful car. ZF transmission in this is just fantastic. It's the same basic design as what's in my BMW M235i, which I absolutely love. That was one of the things that sold me that car. I've driven manuals my whole life, and then I drove the M235i with the ZF transmission, and it just blew me away. And this is just as good. The tuning in this is fantastic. It's a little bit more dramatic because you've got the snaps and crackles on the shifts that you don't get with that car, but the shifting is instant. It shifts just like a dual clutch, but you don't have all that associated nonsense where you're in traffic and you know you're waiting for the clutches to engage and it jerks and it's just annoying. Whereas this is the best of both worlds, it feels like, and it shifts gears absolutely instantly. There's no delay there, and I mean that's the one thing that people hate about these automatic transmissions is that when there's a delay, it just throws you off because you're mid-corner, you want to shift down gears and power out of the corner, and you press the paddle and you don't know what's going to happen, and it unsettles the car, and you know you put your foot down, the revs come up, but it's not in the right gear, and then it does kick down and it kicks the back end of the car out, and it just throws you way off. And this is just so well connected and so intuitive to drive. It feels like an extension of your body, and that sounds weird, but you know I've only been driving this car for 15 minutes now, and I feel like I've been driving it my whole life. I feel like I know what I'm doing, I'm comfortable, and to me that's the mark of a truly fantastic car, is when you can get in it and just enjoy it. And like I'm probably not even pushing 6/10 of this car's capability, but I'm still having a shit ton of fun, which is amazing. Alright, so we're just rolling into town now, so I'm starting to back off, and look, I'll give you my overall impressions of this car. It's only been a short drive in it, so obviously it's not a detailed review where I can go into the real nitty gritty about the car, but look, I mean, it's been a 20-minute drive and I'm absolutely hooked on this thing. It's so much fun to drive. It's got that drama and theater about it. It's got that refined quality about it. It's comfortable, it's powerful, it's just anything you want it to be. It's just great, which is fantastic. So look, I hope you found this interesting and useful. If you have, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.